Hey, what's up everybody? I can't believe it's been a year now since I basically started this channel, at least started posting consistently. So I want to recap today. I thought it would be fun to just talk about the experience from start till today, and also share just some little tips and the background data, behind the channel that may be interesting to somebody who either is interested in starting a, running vlog or something similar in our space, or who just wants to do something else and wants to see some of the data and hear some tips from someone who's been doing this for a year. So for those who don't know, my name's Christian and I started this channel, Christian Runs NY, about a year ago. I'd say, May 2021, I started to post my initial videos, and maybe by June, July, I started training for the New York City Marathon in 2021. And that's when I started to post videos more consistently. I posted about 190 vlogs to this date. So it's about every other day that a vlog has gone out, or at least averaged out to that amount of time and that amount of videos. So, that's kind of the background of the channel. And so let's jump right in by taking a look at the data and statistics and things that I have access to that not everybody else does. So the first thing that I cannot stress enough when you look at this data is, if you're going to start a channel and start creating content on YouTube or anywhere else, pick something that you have a passion for, that you really love to do, and that you would be doing no matter what, whether it was for the channel or just for your own personal enjoyment. You can see some of the view counts and data from early on in the channel. And, unless you're someone who maybe has a good background or is famous, for lack of a better term, or is well known within a space, you may see quicker subscriber counts or quicker view counts climbing around some of those people. But for the average person like myself who was just jumping into this for the first time, I didn't put any money into it as far as like running ads or promoting my channel or anything like that. This is very typical of what you can expect, and you're going to spend a lot of time for really no monetary rewards. So you really want to make it kind of a personal reward built into your channel, because it's going to be a long grind, again, if your ultimate goal is money. For me, I was building a community around running. I was running until 2020, and then with COVID, everything kind of fizzled out. There was a lot of, virtual stuff, not in person, and I wanted to just kind of create a community around myself and my own content. That way it would motivate me to run again and just be healthier as an individual. As when I was, sitting around between 2020 and 2021, there was no races, and I just kind of was bored and didn't know what to do with myself and didn't have any motivation to get out and run, which I truly love doing. So when we look at the data, you can see, off the bat, my channel's getting, 5-10 views a day tops. And that was pretty consistent, from June, July, August, September, really up until the point where I started to talk or include in the title of my videos, things like preparing for the New York City Marathon, tapering for the New York City Marathon, last long run for the New York City Marathon. So it's kind of a key part is, the title of your video is going to have these keywords that have people find your video. Obviously, the content itself has to be, good enough or appealing to whoever's watching it to actually convert them into a subscriber. But you're just trying to bypass that initial algorithm from YouTube, which is, how do you get your content even shown in the little thumbnail up in front of an individual viewer? So for me, it took a long time. The algorithm is not that friendly to people who are not viral on YouTube. That's what really starts to get pushed to the fronts of the list. So for an average person who has 1 or 2 subscribers, it's really going to take a while to gather up enough of an audience where that algorithm again is going to start, giving you people who are viewing your videos regularly, people who have seen them but didn't subscribe. You're going to pop back up on their, their feed later in the week if you post something different. So having those return viewers are really important to building that subscriber base. And that's why you hear a lot of people say, hit the like button, please subscribe, because as that stuff grows, as more people like a video, the algorithm is more likely to put that in front of other people. And then that's when it's up to you as the creator to have a captivating thumbnail or title that's going to actually bring them into watch and hopefully convert them over to a subscriber. So one of the big hits in 2021 was actually running the New York City Marathon. That video for me, I think has, over 27, maybe 26,000 views at this point, which is a large portion of my channel's views overall. I think I have around 100,000 views on my videos. So to have 25,000 of those or more in one particular video, again, is a huge amount. So as you start to create your own content or find videos within your space, you're going to realize, what is the big hit in your arena. So for me, it's races, the New York City Marathon, the New York City Half Marathon, the Brooklyn Half Marathon, other races that I do on weekends or follow along the way usually help with those little spikes and peaks in my views. So the day after I post a new race video, I'm going to see maybe 500, 600, 700 people watch that video these days. And it ends up, totaling around, I'd say 50 to 60 new subscribers every month that I'm posting, again, a good race video or just some other good content around maybe a new pair of shoes that come out. But like, those are the things that I know around my channel are going to bring in viewers and ultimately bring in more subscribers, which then more subscribers means more viewers for the next videos and so on and so on. And it kind of snowballs from there. So over the whole year or lifetime of my channel, you can see that progression where I'm really getting very little views. The New York City Marathon happens. I got like 200 new subscribers right in that moment. Then boom, my view count was steadily around 100 to 200, peaked a little bit more for different videos. The New York City Half Marathon happened and more subscribers came in. And now you can kind of see I'm sitting at a new floor of around 300 to 400 views every day, or when I post a new video, and they can peak as high as 700, 800 sometimes if it's a popular video category or content title. I can't just sit around saying my 5-mile run, my 6-mile run today, because if someone's searching for a particular video around running, they're not going to find it for me if I'm just saying like my 3-mile run today. It's not going to be something they click on, and it's just not going to get people onto my channel. So again, you have to be a little bit strategic, but ultimately I'm just posting things for fun. I'm doing what I love. I'm posting the races that I'm a part of, and that's just had some organic growth for me that, again, now I see snowball a little bit more because people see how many subscribers are subscribed when they watch my new videos, and there's some like validity to my channel because they see a number of people already following me, and it grows and grows so on from there. But that whole first year, you need to get over that hump and be willing to put in the work and the time to get to the point where people are actually consistently watching your channel. And again, this isn't even a point where I'm making any money off of the channel. It's just starting to see some consistent viewership. I have people who comment on my videos and, that I know at least through YouTube regularly. So that kind of builds that community that I wanted, and we'll see where it goes from there. So as far as some other tips, if you want to get started, I generally, in each video put a link to like my ring light, a couple of the other things that I use, like I'm filming on a GoPro or my cell phone. For me, I'm not, investing in thousands of dollars worth of camera equipment and audio equipment. I do use like a small Rode microphone that attaches to this lavalier clip here. So there's little things that help make it a little bit better. The ring light is important so you get some good lighting. And I think the number one piece of software that I would invest in if you do want to make videos, even if it's just for fun as a hobby, would be the actual video editing software. For me, it's Final Cut Pro. There's a bunch of other options out there, but I think that's a really important piece. Again, if you're going to be creating videos regularly, I can do stuff for Instagram, YouTube, all with that same software. So for something between $200 to $300, it's probably the most expensive thing that I purchased, one single thing, and it's also going to give me the most return because I use it every time I want to create anything that's a video. Once you have something like Final Cut Pro or even just a basic video editing software, once you have your camera, I would familiarize yourself first with things like frame rate and the video quality. Something as simple as knowing to film in 1080p or 4K and keeping it consistent. Again, maybe using a phone and a separate camera, making sure that you're filming in the same video quality, and then also making sure you're filming in the same frame rate, whether it be 30 or 60 are two popular ones, 30 frames per second versus 60 frames per second. So familiarize yourself with those things, film consistently in 30 frames per second or 60 frames per second or 24 frames per second, but just do the same on your phone, your camera, whatever else you film on. And then once you get into, I'll keep calling it Final Cut Pro, make sure you're creating the content and editing the video in that same 30 or 60 or 24 frames per second. That way everything is nice and crisp and clean. Now, the other piece I would familiarize yourself with, and is kind of a pet peeve of mine, is the audio. And not just the audio quality, that's, give or take depending on what you're doing and how early you are in the space, but the audio volume level. Again, if you can invest in something like Final Cut Pro versus a very basic video editor, you're able to change the volume levels of your sound effects, of your music, of your video, of your voice, and you want to be able to balance that out so it's at the same decibel level throughout the whole video. This way, if someone starts a video out loud on their computer, they set it to the volume they want, and then there's not a sudden like burst of music or suddenly you're talking so low that they can't hear it. You want to balance all that out throughout the video so that way it's nice and consistent, and then someone can set it to the volume they want and they're good to go throughout the whole video. And that's just something that I think really helps make things a little bit better and come off as a little bit more professional, even though again, I'm not a professional. I think that I do tend to keep the volume at least balanced throughout the whole video, and that's more pleasing hopefully to people who are watching and listening, so that way again it's not like a sudden boom or some point where they have to turn it up because they can't hear my voice anymore. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the basics. Again, I just wanted to put those tips out there for anyone else who wanted to get started. This backdrop is just racing numbers and a picture from Believe in the Run, and you don't have to do anything really expensive. You just kind of pick up what you have. Most people have a smartphone, and if you have ideas and you want to put them out there, go ahead and get started. It takes a long time to build up viewers, it takes a long time to build up subscribers, but it's fun to do it along the way if you pick something that's a category that you really enjoy. And ultimately, again, the cost to set it all up is really not that much. The cost for the channel itself is really pretty low compared to what I would spend on a day-to-day myself, whether I was doing YouTube or not. So if you have any other questions, you can definitely put them down below. If you're into running content, you can definitely subscribe down below. And like I said, I just thought it would be fun to put this out there. It's a little bit different, obviously, than something that my followers who are into running are used to seeing, but maybe it encourages or inspires someone to make their own videos, whatever they might be. If you've had thoughts about it and you just doubted you could do it, I'm someone who really had no experience before, and I've turned it into this so far, and we'll see where it goes from here. So either way, I love doing it and I love talking to all of you. So thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next video.